Alright, elephant in the room, he didn't really attack him, but I had to get you clicked somehow, didn't I? And now you're here, why not stick around? Because it definitely did kick off at yesterday's Misfits press conference between Team Fury and, well, sort of just Till on his own, really. And you know what? I'm a boxing man, right? I've been a massive fan of boxing for, probably coming up 2 decades now. And I'm a very casual MMA fan, meaning I didn't really know all that much about Darren Till, but fuck me, this fella's brazen, isn't he? And the ironic thing is, usually the loudest man in the room is John Fury.
I don't want to go there, Nicky. I don't want to go
The Furies are the best fights in the world!
But yesterday, he actually approached this one quite differently.
A man who needs no introduction, Big John Fury. What was your reaction to coming back to Misfits?
They pay well. Listen, it's a great fight. Darren Till's going to bring it. I'm sitting on the fence here because I've got a lot of friends in Liverpool, because I'm not from Manchester or Liverpool. I'm an Irishman. So I'm going to sit on the fence because a lot of friends in Liverpool, a lot in Manchester, but it's going to be a cracking night. These two men are going to try and kill each other because there's that much on the line.
Listen, in terms of on the Big John meter, that is as respectful as you can possibly get. To say you're sitting on the fence because you've got friends in Liverpool, it's like, well, hold on, mate, yeah, but you've also got your son sat next to you. I know I definitely would care more about my son winning than I would about the fact I've got some friends in Liverpool. But either way, I think what he's trying to get across there is that he has respect for Darren Till, and obviously I appreciate that. He knows Darren Till well. What I would say is he definitely wouldn't have been sitting on the fence had Tyson got the fight with a fellow Liverpudlian, David Price, all those years ago, would he?
I'll fight David Price any day of the week. You see, you plumber from Liverpool, it's personal between me and you, and I'm going to do you some serious harm, you big stiff idiot.
Okay, all right.
That's a classic, that clip, isn't it? That is vintage Tyson Fury. Either way, what I'm trying to say here is I think that John is trying to keep it respectful, which is fair enough, man. Like, I box on Misfits myself. I know that we've got a role to play. The viewers are typically younger. They like the drama. They like the beef. And when you're handed the mic, you should very much be delivering. But then at the same time as this, you've got to appreciate that some of us are older and some of us are in there looking to make some good money and put on good fights, but we're in there with opponents that we do actually respect and don't have that beef with outside of the ring. So it's a fine line, isn't it? You sort of got to pick between entertaining and then at the same time whether or not you want to force something with your opponent.
He was talking about coming back, and as soon as my hand was able to, put me back in the ring, I've been there. And he said, what about Darren Till? We said, why not? Darren Till is in his prime. He's 31 or 32, I'm not sure. He's not washed up, he's not old, and he's going to come to fight. That's what we know about Darren Till. He's got a set of bollocks, and I want to fight because my previous fight was too much hopping around and star jumping, so...
Yeah, fair play, as you'd expect. Very respectful from Tommy Fury towards Darren Till here. Couple of backhanded digs, though. By the way, at Jake Paul, obviously, when he mentions the age of the opponent that he's facing, and also a backhanded dig at KSI, who's sat next to him, when he says he's not going to come and do star jumps. But you know what, right? After an injury and over a year out of the ring, I think that Tommy taking this fight's a massive gamble, man. Like, this is a real roll of the dice, isn't it? Because I think we've now sort of found out about Tommy Fury that he's not going to be someone that goes on in the pro ranks, probably at all. And if he was to, I don't think he's good enough to win like a British title or something like that. I think possibly maybe a Midlands title, or maybe project himself up to somewhere around English level if he was to fully commit his life to it. But then why would he? Like, you're earning much better money doing the influencer scene than you would be doing that anyway, so it would be an absolute no-brainer. Like, you'd never go back to the pro scene. Now you've had a taste for the Misfits money and you're getting paid potentially up to £1 million or whatever. But at the same time as that, I don't know, man, I just think, like, when you put him in the ranking system of like sons or brothers of greats, yeah, Tommy Fury is better than a Campbell Hatton, yeah, but he's not as good potentially as a Chris Eubank Jr. or maybe a Conor Benn or something like that. But in the influencer scene, he's got a claim to being the best, really, hasn't he? Because he's got wins over the two biggest names in KSI and Jake Paul. And obviously I watched the Jake Paul fight back quite recently when I was breaking down his fight of Mike Tyson, and he won that really comfortably. Even the knockdown, that was, yeah, like, it was a legit knockdown, but it weren't a knockdown because of the force of the shot. It was a balance issue, in my opinion. It was actually, ironically, KSI, the less experienced man, who gave Tommy Fury way more problems. But with Darren Till, despite only having one boxing fight, which literally went a couple of minutes, we'll have a little look at that one later on, he has never really boxed, has he? But in the octagon, he was a very good striker. Plus, as he goes on to mention, he used to spar with loads of professional boxers. So I would say out of every single man that Tommy Fury has ever faced, I'm including pro before Misfits and amateur and whatnot, Darren Till is the toughest test that he will come up against. And to do that, coming off the back of a layoff, takes a lot of guts. And it shows me that Tommy Fury is looking to make a real statement now and say, I am really elevating myself and putting myself above all the guys in this influencer scene. So you've got to give him credit for it. But don't worry, people, because if you're here for some drama, the niceties pretty much end there. And one man that does not want to give Tommy Fury, or anyone for that matter, any credit is Darren Till.
I'm not asked, I'm coming here to obliterate Tommy on January 18th, and that's it. I'm going to fucking absolutely do a number on him. I'm going to walk him down and obliterate him. And he knows it. I can tell he's swallowed it already, so, you know, it's just one of them.
It's different watching me on the television.
Well, at the end of the day, if I can't beat it, I'll just kick you in the face in there. How about that?
Well, that's not going to happen, Darren.
Well, it obviously is. How are you going to stop?
Because we're 8 in the cage now in a boxing ring.
If I'm losing that fight, I'll
MMA.
just kick you straight in your face.
Listen, kick me straight in the face, well, that's it. It's going to be a proper fight then, isn't it?
Then I'll win, because I'm a proper fighter.
Well, you're not
a boxer.
Do you know what, mate? It's fair play, really, isn't it? Like, it's actually probably true, and that's coming from someone who's probably a similar experience to Tommy myself. I've probably had the same amount of fights as Tommy Fury and I. Maybe he might have had 2 or 3 more than me, something like that. But I understand it. Like, listen, as much as we back our ability in a boxing ring, especially over MMA fighters, it is true. Like, in an actual fight, in a street fight, an MMA fighter will beat a boxer most of the time. And I purely actually put that down to the wrestling rather than the kicking. Like, I'm not saying if I had a street fight of an MMA fighter, I couldn't pull off a win every now and again. But 4 out of 5 times, they're going to get me to the ground, they're going to wrestle me, they're going to fold me like a deck chair. And that's just how it goes, mate. Look at McGregor. He found that out when he fought Khabib. And that wasn't boxer versus MMA fighter. That was literally 2 MMA fighters fighting each other. I remember when I fought Baby Hulk, right, and it was a really weird feeling because I'm looking at this guy and I'm thinking, do you know what it is? I reckon I'm going to box your head off. But then at the same time, I'm understanding that if this was in a street fight and there was no rule set here, you probably fuck me up, don't you? But either way, I don't know. All I'm saying is Till is on smoke here, isn't he? And it's a good job that he is, you know, because it was getting a bit too friendly for my liking.
No one in here is a threat to me. Security, you, your dad are not a threat to me. I'm an MMA fighter, so
why
if I
come
want to
over
kick
there?
you
Why
or elbow you in the face, I will. I sparred your brother Tyson and treat him like a baby.
Yeah, it's fine.
So if I'm in that fight and I'm losing, I'm going to go, right, I'm kicking him in the face now.
Oi, pig's eyes. I was going to be respectful to you. Leave my son's Tyson's name out of your mouth.
What?
Leave his name out of your mouth. You're good enough to
I'm
suck
being
his
real,
dick,
Tyson.
mate.
No one's seen you since Usyk bladdered Tyson. Where have you been? Go back to where you fucking came from, mate.
Pig's eyes.
It looks like the respect was very short-lived.
No. They swallowed it and I called it off.
Fuck you, pig's eyes.
What an absolute...
This is going to be fireworks. Tune in January 18th, the Co-op Arena in Manchester.
Now, John Fury's got 5 sons, as far as I know, and I don't think it takes a genius to work out who the favourite is now, does it? Because old Tilly's just threatened to kick Tommy's head in, and John's sat there pretty chilled. The second he's mentioned Tyson's name, John's ready to fucking go, mate. Fair play, though. Darren Till's boxed, once, and Fury's the heavyweight champ. Well, not heavyweight champ at the moment, but hopefully again soon. On a side note, I just love the way that John Fury's been sat there pretty quietly, and he's looking at Till and he's thinking, You look a bit piggish. You do. Pig's eyes. It's a good nickname. I like it. John Fury clearly thinks it is because he's used it about 45 times.
Oi, pig's eyes. Pig's eyes. Fuck you, pig's eyes.
But listen, all in all, this is exactly what Misfits Boxing needed to kick off 2025 with. Some spice, some beef, some drama. I'm here for it. I know you lot are, and I will be watching this one very closely. Hopefully with a beer in my hand from ringside after I absolutely batter someone on the same night if I'm lucky. But no, either way, I'm not throwing any shade at the Qatar card, right? Because the matchups on there, when it comes to actually like competitive boxing, probably one of, if not the best show that Misfits has ever put on. But I'm already more excited for this one. And I've heard a few things on the grapevine, and the undercard for this is apparently going to be pretty tasty. And I know some of my viewers on this channel have subscribed for the classic sort of boxing content, you know, the pure boxing content, so some of you guys might not be interested in the Misfit stuff, and that's fair enough, man. Listen, I'm interested in some of it, and I'm not so interested in some of it, and that's being honest, coming from someone who boxes on Misfits. But what I definitely am interested in is fights like this. And this fight in particular, right? Are we just making Tommy Fury a favourite here because he's the one with more boxing experience? Like, he's actually only fought one southpaw before, as far as I know, and that's obviously the well-known and well-respected Jeves Angeves. And that was all the way back in his debut, where, let's be honest, he didn't look great. He didn't stop him or get him out of there or anything like that. And also, I know that was a few years ago now, but old Jenes, he's 43 years old now, whereas Darren Till is 31 years old. And as I already said, in the UFC, he was very handy with these bad boys. His backhand, in particular, being a real weapon that he's going to be confident that he'll be able to execute against Tommy Fury. But with the extra 6 ounces in glove weight, does that make a huge difference to how hard one of these MMA guys punch? Because I'm sure that if I was an MMA fighter fighting in 4-ounce gloves rather than in 8s or 10s that I've been boxing in through a lot of my career, I'd have a lot more knockouts on my resume. But then at the same time, listen, to be fair, it sounds like I'm throwing shade here. I'm definitely not, by the way. But when Baby Hulk cracked me with a left hook, I remember thinking he had more power than any punch that Cray landed on me, and he was an MMA fighter fighting in boxing for the first time, so I suppose it just varies, really. What we do know is this one is over 8 3-minute rounds in 10-ounce gloves, as opposed to Jake Paul versus Mike Tyson, which was over 8 2-minute rounds in 14-ounce gloves. It's a big difference. It's longer to work and break down your opponent, and obviously the gloves weighing lighter mean the punches will feel harder. And the Furies should know all too well now, after Tyson's fight with Ngannou, that the power can be translated from the octagon to the ring. But we have actually seen Till in a boxing ring once, and it was in a bizarre fight. You'll see the reason why in a minute. But either way, despite this being the only footage I could find, and it sort of looks like it was recorded with a potato or something, he doesn't look bad at all, does he? His feet are sharp, he dictates the range well, but this guy's boxing is shit, really, isn't he? And I'm not on about pro standards, by the way. I'm talking Misfit standards. By Misfit standards, this guy is rubbish. So is Till going to be able to impose himself and stalk Tommy Fury in the way that he is against this opponent? Because Tommy's not a small guy, and I think he does punch a bit harder than people realise. I think Tommy's problem has more been his distance in fights, and maybe if Till does walk forward, we see a better version of Tommy Fury, because Till could then be doing the work for him. Anyway, this fella faked an injury after being tapped on the back of the head, and after going down, all hell broke loose. I mean, fucking hell, where's the security at? This could have actually got quite nasty. Didn't you hate people that do that, by the way? It's like, bro, you just quit. Yeah, you're hardly giving off intimidating vibes right now. I don't think you're in any position to be going for people when you've just clearly quit in the ring. And if you were too hurt to continue to fight, why are you now all of a sudden able to have a... Oh, fucking hell, enough talking about this idiot. Either way, what that means is Darren Till has only done, what, less than 1 round in boxing. But despite that, I think this is a 50-50 fight because I've seen Till sparring in boxing and he looks handy. And also, what I have got to say is, like, we saw what Jake Paul did to Tyrone Woodley, right? And therefore, we might go, well, Tommy should be a huge favourite here. But Tyrone Woodley's, 10 years older than Darren Till? I think Anderson Silva's about 15 years older or something like that than Darren Till. So there's a big difference here. I truly do think that this is the toughest test that Tommy Fury would have taken. And in doing so, I have to throw a little bit of shade here. It's a tougher test than any fight that Jake Paul has ever taken, barring fighting Tommy himself. Either way, I'm really looking forward to this one, and when it does happen, it will be happening live on DAZN. And you can use my link, which is in the description right now, to sign up to DAZN. If you're living inside the UK, I think if you sign up before the end of this month, it can get you up to 33% off. And obviously, that's not just for the Misfits fight. They've got all of the boxing on there. Frank Warren is going to DAZN within the next couple of months, so with him and Eddie Hearn and Turki Al Sheikh, you're going to have everyone. All the good fights pretty much are going to be on DAZN, so now's the time to get your subscription. And also, just a quick one before I let you go, you might not be interested in it. If you're not, don't worry about it, but myself and Josh Aveste, who some of you guys may know, some of you may not, we have launched a joint podcast where we're just talking shit, really. We're not talking about boxing, we're not talking about football, we're just talking about life, really. But if you're interested in it, then that's also linked in the description. You can go over there and subscribe to that one. Let me know what you want to hear me talk about next, and definitely check out the documentary style video that I did on Billy Joe Saunders and uploaded yesterday. A lot of hard work and effort went into that one. I was really proud of that video, by the way, so check it out. That's linked in the description too. I will see you all in the next one.